Welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. My name is Geoffrey Morrissey, and we are at a really cool hotel today. We are not backstage. I've seen the backstage at the Royale enough, but we were just commenting on the light fixtures in here. It's really cool, but the company's even better. I'm joined by Twin Limb, MaryLiz and Lacey. Could you just introduce yourselves, and thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us. This is Lacey here. I play accordion and sing in Twin Limb.
And I'm MaryLiz. I also appreciate you coming out here. I play drums and do vocals.
Nice. Well, is this like your first big tour, like in terms of an elongated run, or will this be the one of many?
The second longest tour we've done. I think the longest one was with Houndmouth last year.
Yep, for 6 weeks last winter and spring.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so this will be nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty luxurious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, usually when you think of touring hotels, then I'm like, oh wow, this is great. But what do you guys do to pass the time when you're on tour? Because you have a little bit of free time, at least in the bus and the car and things like that.
Actually, Lacey and I have absolutely no free time because
lovely.
We work while we're on tour to sustain the career. We both do web development, so literally are just in the bus eating up the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
I work less than she does, and I sleep more. She doesn't sleep a lot.
I try.
Yeah, I'm an insomniac, to say the least. See, when you said web development, I thought y'all were working on your own website. I didn't realize that that was
It's our day job. Yeah, I work for a company in Chicago named Hierology, and I work on the user interface side of things.
Mm-hmm. I work for a couple of agencies and freelance projects here and there. So.
Well, your coworkers must think that you have the coolest moonlighting gigs ever. Honestly,
Mine don't really know. Yeah,
they do.
Disappear for 6 weeks.
I talk to them about it sometimes. Well, I'm still there. Just hey guys, I'm in Boston or whatever. They're like, oh cool. They don't, we've met once. So, but.
My coworkers all know. They're all fans. They're so sweet. They're super supportive. They joke around that they sponsor our tours, which they pretty much do for me anyway. And they come out to all the Chicago shows, and I dedicate a song to them because they put up with me.
That's so sweet. So, how did the opportunity arise for you guys to tour with Jim James?
I'd say it's probably multifaceted. He is an excellent he's a Louisville musician. We're from Louisville. He's worked with Kevin, who's our third member, on several records and has toured with him doing this stuff live before. He had been to Twin Limb shows before Kevin was involved and was already a fan. And yeah, I think just a lot of things came together, and we have the same booking agency, so that
helps.
helped move things along. Yeah, and now we're here and we're really happy to be here.
And then, so are you guys doing double duty on this show? Are you both his backing band and then also opening?
We are opening, and we're also playing as part of his backing band, but he has an additional drummer, Dave Given, and he's got an amazing bassist that joins us as well, who has his own side project, Floating Action. But yeah, it's a long night.
Yeah.
Long day.
Yeah.
And then, so what is that like doing double duty? That must be a little bit different than from when you're just sort of touring on your own.
Well, we did do a week in California last month, so we did do this a few times. And the one thing that's different that's really nice is that after we're done playing, we don't have to rush all of our stuff off the stage. It just stays where it is, so we can just pop right back up there and do our thing with Jim, so that's cool.
I always I feel so bad whenever you see the frantic movement of the artist and the tour manager to get everything off of the stage in 2 seconds.
Sad, isn't it?
It is. It's really depressing. It's they put so much work into it, now they just have to destroy and take it down.
That's the beauty of art, though.
Exactly, the beauty of art. So tell me a little bit about the album Haplo and what went into making it, and how you arrived at the final product.
Blood, sweat, tears, lots of tears.
The beauty of art.
So much went into the making of this album. I mean, these were songs that Lacey and I had performed together for a while and written together, and we went into the studio with Kevin to record these songs. How long ago? 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
And that's how we met Kevin, our third member, our guitarist and sample machine wizard. So it's been a long time coming, we feel. We're super excited to finally be releasing it. We've redone the record, I don't know, almost feels like 3 times. I could be
As far as
wrong.
mixing and stuff goes, I think we only re-recorded things maybe once, maybe a couple of things twice, but it's been a long time coming for sure.
And what do you learn in that process of sort of re-recording, if that makes sense? Like, how do you change things up a second time?
I learned a lot of things just very specifically about the drums, because I was new to drumming when I joined with Lacey. And when we first recorded, we tried to do everything live, with that superhuman feeling, which we love. That's very important to us. But I also learned how to play with the click track. I learned how to do things just a little better. I learned how to even just hit the drums better. And then gained the confidence. I mean, when we first went in to record, we were terrified because you don't know what to expect about the experience at all or the environment. So we gained a lot of comfort. We got a little more experimental with our vocals, sang louder, silly things.
Freer was a big thing. You hear this thing that's been put down for, recorded is what I mean by that, for over a year, and you start listening to it and thinking oh, this might be cool in this different way, and you just try stuff. It doesn't feel like the end all be all,
And then it also must be interesting when you're making the record and then you have a day job and something completely else going on in the background as well. It must make it a little bit tougher to dedicate the time to record it.
We definitely, there were some days where we would take off work, and then there were other days where she would know that it was mostly a Lacey vocal day or something, so she would be working but also giving input and everything. But we haven't done the shut ourselves in the studio for a week thing yet.
I really hope that's next time. The next record. I want to go to a cabin far away. I want to forget about everything else. I feel like it would make such a huge difference, But it's hard. It's really hard to kind of be distracted and feel like you're not completely in it, which is why I'm glad we took time to redo it,
And then one of the things I enjoy about the record is the name itself, Haplo. It's such a complex record, yet the name sort of derives from simple. So what went into naming the record?
Honestly, it's super crazy. I don't know, what my memory is telling me, which could be totally wrong, is that we were I was looking for things that did represent unity and simplicity and that kind of thing. And came across a list of biological terms or something, and we're also really picky about the way words sound, and thought it was a beautiful sounding word.
We wanted to pick a non-word.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so you were putting together syllables somewhere Icelandic, I think, that had some sort of meaning, and then we just put it together and we said, this sounds beautiful and it feels beautiful.
That's right.
And it doesn't have to mean anything. I think something that we like, I like to communicate, is that music is this universal language. And when you live in another country and you don't understand the language for a period of time, you realize that that's so important. Everyone's going to derive their own meaning from this. I think that kind of was part of it for me.
Definitely.
And then so you guys recorded an EP before you recorded the album. What is the difference between going in there for an EP and going in for an album in terms of the recording process?
Not much. I mean, the EP was 7 songs, the record's 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's just, it was a really similar process. And funny enough, we had already recorded the full length before we recorded the EP, before we re-recorded the record. Yeah, it's real crazy. So we already felt that, kind of freedom and stuff already. And I think that the tone of the EP was very much us, sort of paying respects to the things that we had written and played even before we got together all of the songs that were on the record. So it was a really special way for us to kind of re-record these super important songs, which we had originally recorded with a friend who's a great engineer in his basement a while before that. So.
Yeah, there's a super special EP floating around
there,
100 copies or something.
Yeah, recorded by Will Allard in his basement. Yeah, it's in a little cardboard sleeve with a stamp on it. So if you find one of those,
Save it.
Give us one.
I was gonna say you must have the digital copy, but the physical ones.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I have no idea. They're somewhere.
As we were talking earlier, y'all do a lot of travel. If you could sit next to one person on an airplane and sort of pick their brain, anyone for a couple hours, who would
Do
it be?
they have to be alive?
No.
Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan, that's a good one.
Hannah Arendt, especially right now in the current political climate. I would like to know what in the world she would have to say. That would be very topical too. Yeah.
You would be like, you would have enough to talk about, I'd say, for like a flight to Australia.
Yeah, like, hey lady, like what's in your head about this right now? And I think that she would they'd have to let her smoke on the airplane, I think, but
they could make an exception.
Yeah.
And then so if you guys could steal a song, the world only knows it as a Twin Limb song, what song do you think that might be?
Steal a song? Wait, what was the question?
If you could steal a song and then like record it as your own, so like, I don't know, like the world only knows Let It Be is a Twin Limb record.
Oh crap. Appropriation in its truest form.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard.
Rancid Out Come the Wolves album?
Yes. And to be Kevin's voice on this, I think he might choose a Sonic Youth song, maybe.
It's true. We'd have to think about this collectively with Kevin present.
Definitely. I mean, I would throw something out there, like, maybe like one of the songs off Rumors or something. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
There are a lot of songs off Rumors that lend themselves very well to covering too.
Yeah, totally. Except for Secondhand News, maybe. I don't think that would be one of our songs, even though I love it so much. But
I think we've actually already accidentally done that with You Do Right. I know we prominently display that it's a Can cover everywhere, but we've had a few people come up to us and tell us that they love that song and not know that it's a Can song. Yeah. So then when we explain it, they're like, oh, thank you for opening up my world to Can, which is the objective,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, this will be my last question for y'all. Who are you listening to? Who has your ear in terms of music right now?
I've been listening to Dennis Wilson all day. And obviously Leonard Cohen. I'm revisiting his last record that he put out in October right now. Yeah.
Man, I've been listening to Jim James a lot lately.
One might think.
Going back through the Bowie catalog, honestly.
And Bowie and Cohen, I was talking to, I think it was James Vincent, I can never pronounce his name correctly, James Vincent McMorrow, on Friday, and we were both talking about how with Bowie and Cohen, the album seemed to foretell what was going to happen about a month later, which
so crazy.
Just makes it even freakier when you listen to it. But we're going to end on a happy note. Haplo is out. It's a great album, and I've had the pleasure of being joined by Twin Limb today. Thank you both so much, and kill it in Boston for the next 2 nights.
Thank you.
Thank you.